tonight's episode, The Endangered Species.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I've got a few words for some of our brothers.
Now it's happening. Well, I guess I got this thing going in the background, so we'll shut that off. And we'll turn this music down a little bit, and we'll get started. So we're going to be taking a look at Instagrams, which is another platform. If you're on YouTube, you're on a platform. You're on a social media platform is what they call it. And there's other ones out there. Yeah, believe it or not, there's one called Instagram. We're going to go look at it here in a minute. As soon as we get everything figured out, click on this, and there we go. All right, what are you looking at here? You're looking at a blank desktop with the comments right over here for this. So I usually spend about a quarter to a third of my screen over here with the comments. And there's some links out there to Patreons. So we got Foss, DJ, and Woods out there joining. Evening. Hope that sounds okay. We'll jump over to Instagram. That's what it's all about. So I just posted this post about this show. What? Yeah, this post is linking to this show. So there you go. Now, if you go down our Instagram, you can see this kind of stuff we post. It's I don't know what to call it, like a mix, an assortment of interesting history, awareness of what's happening now, when it's possible, heads up on what's coming, and then playing around with some of our adventures along the way. If you see a picture on our channel, one of us took it, and just because you see a picture of something doesn't mean we own it. It just means that we had access to it, or our friends has it. Some of the stuff we got, but you can see that we're not trying to impress anybody. We're really not trying to sell you anything. We do have the store. Let's talk about that real quick. We've got a Gear website store. Perhaps you heard of it. It allows us to keep doing what we're doing.
Hey, did you know that you could help support our future projects and let everyone know you're a fan of what we do? Check out our print-on-demand store. We have a tab here on YouTube. When you click on it, you can choose from a bunch of different items. We have shirts and posters and coffee mugs. Click on the one you like. When you find the design you want to put on it, choose a color and a size if it's appropriate. And when you purchase these items, a portion goes to help fund our future projects. We really do appreciate your support. You get some cool stuff. When you get that stuff, post pictures here and on other platforms, and we'll hook you up next time you order from our Gear website store. Thank you for your support of gunwebsites.com.
All right, so now we'll go back up to the top here, and that's not what we're looking at, because you can always go look at our Instagram. What we're going to be looking at on this show, and this show might always be on Sundays. Give us some feedback, and we'll determine when this show is going to be. We're going to look at the posts from other people that we found to be interesting and worth sharing. So a couple of ways you can share things on Instagram. I'm going to right-click and open it in a new window over here. And now instead of looking at our feed on Instagram, you're looking at the feed of posts that are coming in from the people that I subscribe to. What? Are you telling me that this is a gunsmith in Vegas who's probably got more time on the clock building AKs than a lot of the designers who invented the dang things? Think about how many people recreationally travel to Las Vegas in order to shoot machine guns because it's not legal or they don't have the resources to do so themselves. And the number of rounds that go through those rental guns. The gunsmiths that are adjacent to those rental machine gun facilities are doing amazing work, and following them on Instagram is one of the things I do. So we're looking at a particularity about a .308 caliber Sega with some parts on it, and they're talking about that. This dude hung out with this guy. There's no way to explain what this guy did because most people don't understand the complexity of what special operations are tasked with. But this guy, in a nutshell, was a Marine, and he's been on a couple of interviews now, offering his experiences in the special operations in the South American theater in the last few years. And then you go right below that, and that's Mike Pannone, one of the dudes that, if you've ever seen anything about Delta Force, this dude's in Tucson teaching people how to Piece of garbage internet. Who do we blame for this? There's got to be someone to blame for this. This can't be our fault. Someone is out to get us, and they've got the power, and they've chosen to smush us. All right, so let's go back over here and change that background before I get arrested for having the wrong background on this show. All right, we're getting back at it, and now I'm screen sharing again, I think. Sharon with us? Let me know if Sharon is with us. And let's get back to it. So we're looking at the Instagrams, and I was attempting to show you that there's all kinds of good stuff happening on Instagram. If you're not paying attention to Instagrams, I don't know what you're talking about. So you could go to a post like this, and you want to support it or help amplify it. I guess I was going to zoom in a little bit. You've got these little thingies down here. One of them is a heart because you love it. And then the other one is a little speech bubble because you want to say something. You can say something like, cool. See what I did? And now if somebody came along, they'd see my post. Wow, look at that. It's like a little bit of virtue signaling or like some kind of a social credits situation because now I can act like I'm a big part of this whole thing. So there's some enjoyment there. You get to interact. Obviously, the words that you use make the other person's brain react, and then they type words, and that's conversation. And that happens in front of people, unlike some of the stupid platforms out there that are hidden, and everything's done in a weird closet and can be all angry and super weird. Instead, this is all out in the open, and people that are going to be super weird and angry to each other are going to be super weird and angry to each other out in public. And then they figure out that they got a unique opinion. Maybe they start to challenge themselves instead of just being piled on. That's another story. But basically, you can like it. And if you like it, guess what? Everybody can come over here and go, oh, look how many people like this. I must be just like these people because I like it also. But what that also tells you is, let's say you see something interesting over here. Maybe it's not just an AK barrel from stupid Russian 308 AK. But instead, what if it's a Second Amendment post that's super interesting and you think, hey, I want to know people that dig this. Well, you can go over here and go, oh, these are people that dig this. Like, these are people that might have a similar interest that I do. And the way stupid Instagram works is you go down here and go, I don't know, none of these look interesting to me. These are just regular people, and I'm not that kind of Instagram user where I just go watch people. But this guy, right? Oh, I've heard of this guy before because he's a famous suppressor manufacturer. Oh, look, now I can go to his channel and check out what he's got going on. And you go, you know what? I'm not as into people that like belt-fed, tripod-mounted things on military vehicles and having all kinds of supplies to make those military vehicles work and make suppressors to pay for it all. I'm not interested. So you can then leave. But if you wanted to stick around, you could have. So Instagram's pretty neat for those interactivities. But there's another thing you can do, and that's click this little paper airplane. And it's not going to do anything on a computer because we're sharing it on a computer here. But if this was on a telephone and I click the little paper airplane, it would ask me if I want to shove it into my little circles. So when you go to the top of Instagram, you got these circles. I don't have any right now, but if you clicked on this, it would show you my circles, I think. So in Instagram, and you like somebody's stuff and you want to say, this is so, and it goes up, or some their whole into their circles with this little paper airplane button, because you're going to get a chance to write on the screen and make little things, and you could stick ice cream cones on it if you want. It's a whole different way to use Instagram, and some people really dig it. And what does that do? It takes information from that channel and puts it on your channel, and then maybe some other channel sees it, and that's what it's all about, is sharing the information. show of hands if it's obvious that the YouTube infringement is obvious. This is so obvious. So we're going over here to look at Charlie's circles. And he's got Reverend Ken Blanchard talking about... Oh, he's got a good one that I can't remember, but he put down this morning. But Charlie dubbed Ken into his circles to help spread the word about whatever Ken was saying. So that's what we're talking about, is Instagram and how you can use it. And then you've got these three, and I don't know why they stuck this one over here, but they did. So this one is heart, and that's how you can see who else loves things. You can write stuff, and then other people can see what you wrote. You can paper airplane it up into your circles, and then I think these last for like 24 hours. However, there's a whole nother level. You can shove these into your own circles over here. These bigger circles are filled up with my old circles. So Instagram's got its own little procedures and blah, blah, blah that make it sort of like a game. It's kind of like a puzzle. It's kind of like an evolving procedural thing to explore. And some people dig that. Some people just follow and do whatever other people are doing. That's called trending shit, right? So you can be scared of this stuff, or you can master it, or you can dominate it and use it like another tool. You can be scared of a revolver, or you can understand how to use a revolver, or you can master a revolver and move on, right? So the last thing, if you want to master Instagram, is to not just temporarily like, because that requires someone to see your post or the post and understand it. That's giving immediate feedback to the person who posted it. But in this case, 152, I'm getting lost in the thing. If I comment, I might be one of 3 comments. So maybe I'm remembered there, or maybe they have some conversation with me, right? If I do this though, I'm putting a record on my channel that I'm connected with their channel. Just like in real life, if you go around telling somebody you're with somebody, that means something, right? It means something on these platforms. You take those circles and shove them into your permanent circles, that's like permanently linking your channel with that other channel. And if you think there's not significance there, then you're not familiar with the concept that these are tools that we can either be used by or use. So that's the way you use the tool. If you want to help someone who you appreciate, you use the tools to put the links into the references to their projects and their posts in order to facilitate. That's creating the structure that those logarithms you hear about. This creates the system that those logarithms run on. We're not victims of the logarithms. We're victims of not using the logarithms as the mechanisms they are as a community. So let's talk about the killer app on Instagram, the way that you utilize it as a tool for yourself to help others. And that's when you click on that little chevron-y looking thing. And that puts it into another place on your channel. And we're going to go over there and look. So this was all an introduction. We haven't even started what we're doing here today. And that's to look at the posts that I've saved on my channel from other people. And I'll try to make this more succinct for future shows, but there's 2 goals and objectives here. There's probably more than that, but one of them is to teach people how to be competent with Instagram as a tool. I don't like Instagram because I'm an idiot. I like Instagram because it's a useful tool that I've seen people become rich using. I like Instagram because it's a tool that gets information out to people at traffic lights and in doctors' waiting lines. And while they're doing something, it's the kind of tool that a child holds up to a parent and says, "What is this, mommy or daddy," or whatever biologists call them. And this is the kind of tool that's simple to master. It's so simple. So that's half of the point here. The other point is to promote the stuff that we're talking about. So we're going to go to my channel. And if you go to saved on anybody's channel, and if they're using it correctly, they save a lot of different things. I do multiple projects. So I save some of my own posts in my own folders so that I can access them again in the future, right? So I use this feature of Instagram for my reasons, but I also use it to promote other people. So if I go into the one called All Posts, this is the posts that I have favorited or chevroned over the last couple of weeks. And our goal in this series is going to be to weekly go in and take a look at what's been happening on the Instagram platform to inspire, encourage, and motivate everybody who's listening to this to do the same and to understand the power of individuals using platforms instead of monitoring and being the puppets and the manipulations of the platforms. So what the problem is, I don't know how far back I got to go because we haven't done this in a while. So You can see that a lot of these are cheering on some of the bigger campaigns, like the Firearms Policy Coalition, some individual activists who do good stuff, and then typically messages that are motivational or worth echoing. There's also going to be some alerts to things that are probably past, but if you're watching this in real time somehow, they would have been telling you ahead of the game. So I'm just going to, I don't know, let's just click on one and see what the date of it is. This is that well, this is another Armor. This is from April 8th. How much time do we have before Armed or Eye on the Target comes on? 10 minutes? All right, we won't go back this far. This is Krebs. So Mark Krebs is the authentic real dude. Anybody that I'm linking to, I don't link to assholes and jerks. So there's nothing in here that's not worth linking to. There's a couple of them that I monitor, but I'm not supporting necessarily, but there's not too many of those going to show up in here. So let's start with this little thing, and then let's open up YouTube so we don't forget to mention there's valid Second Amendment stuff happening in a bit. So you're watching on YouTube. We're talking about Instagram, but more important stuff happens on YouTube, obviously. And one of the things that'll be happening here in a bit is on the Polite Society podcast channel, Eye on the Target Radio will be on in 10 minutes. And that's Amanda Suffolk and her brother. And that's worth watching. I didn't even know they were on YouTube until last week. So that's what kind of communication we got in the community. I thought they were only on Facebook because they made a big point of being all proud about how they were only on Facebook for so long. So the other thing that's mandatory to watch on Sundays is Locked and Loaded Latinos. They've got 2 hours. So I don't know how long Eye on the Target will last, but I'll be listening to approximately 1 hour of it. And then I'll be flipping over to Locked and Loaded. All right, so we'll leave those on so that they'll be alarm clocks for us. And click that back. And then we'll just dig into Instagram for as long as we can here. AK-47 shooter I became aware of when I don't even know if I had websites yet. This guy was on the internet in the olden days, and this is his basement. He made this out of pallets and go into yard sales and junkyard finds and stuff, and made this super authentic, super cool, interesting. It was the definition of man cave. If you ever heard man cave, I'm almost positive it comes from this guy's project that he shared online back in the olden days of the internet when pictures barely showed up. And he's just a super cool dude to follow. He also makes the giant guns out of pallet wood. So if you've ever seen a giant Glock or a giant shotgun, this guy made it, and he's super cool dude. He's one of the few people that collects tiny stuff. He's collects some of the things that I collect, and we've had a pretty good time posting stuff and sharing stuff. KD and Prime Protection is having a bunch of stuff happening with their new shop in St. Louis. So I wanted to help spread the word about that one. Again, that's one of those things that's old now. Marcus is pretty cool. He got into the 2A realm a while back and then left, which is valid, but you're allowed to come and go. What he left for was setting up a trade school in Detroit. So I follow him. Nobody big out cares about you or your story until you win. So go fucking win. It's a nice post. Tactical Response, Keystone, one of the channels up in Pennsylvania, is posting about doing Fighting Pistol. People that don't like Jaeger are fucking idiots. Be skeptical of them. The next one is Pincus talking about being on NPR. And if you're not paying attention, you don't even know that Pincus was supposed to be on NPR, and people that are exploiting the situations out there are going to only touch on the surface of this stuff. So wake the heck up. We don't have time to everyone to learn anymore. Through observation, learn through listening to people who've been through this before. If Chicago gun control worked, Chicago would be one of the safest cities in America. That's NRA doing something. People that say the NRA doesn't do shit. Take a look at some of these numbers that I mentioned indicate what's going on with your Instagram post. We have 60,000 likes. 60000. And then go look at anybody who says the NRA should be brought to their knees and is looking to sell you marshmallows to watch it burn. And then go look at the posts over here and decide for yourself
what to support and what to change from within. Next is Utah, Utah is an awesome state. They have great people there. Well, it's not my favorite state, but it's a pretty awesome, cool state. And they have a shoot outside of Salt Lake City, and be aware of it. It's coming up. This is a short video. This is interesting. We need more infographics like this. This is the violent states of Mexico. And if you see, Texas is set next to two of the more violent sections of Mexico. People that monitor this will pay attention to, the shift. And, well, again, there's a lot to monitor. There's a lot going on. I'd suggest you pay attention to what's important and valid and less about what they tell you is urgent. Then we get, when is this guy going to become a doctor? So I keep messing it up. Professor Yamane is doing some after actions about his participation in this gun research policy thing with 24 something people in, I forget where it was, somewhere in the, Lion's Den. And I haven't had a chance to listen to all of the after actions, but I heard the lead up to it, and I'm looking forward to following up on those. This is an attempt to share his projects on the Instagram platform, and guess what? On this platform also. Instagram finally gave me a store. Again, they'll take it away soon. So if you want to buy crap off of us, we make about $5 every time you buy a shirt. Setting up a shirt on a print-on-demand platform that's impartial, like the one that's connected to Instagram, which is Spreadshirt, or the one that's connected to YouTube, is better than trying to figure it out yourself or make relationships with people who might not be there 2 months from now. You want to have relationships to make merchandise with people who can scale and can just give you a cut. It allows the people who want to buy your merch to have a more efficient interaction with the purchase of your merch also. Then use your merch like I'm going to do and say, anybody that starts buying this stuff, remember there was a commercial for this earlier, you can go to the bottom of this freaking YouTube channel and click on the freaking button. It couldn't be anything easier. You can go to Instagram and click on a little link inside of these posts. Every time you show one of these things on a post or whatever, maybe that'll be some kind of, there might be something for that, maybe a tactical quiz benefit or some kind of thank you in some other way. So use the merch as it is, a way to have interactivity with the audience out there, with your alumni, with the people who care passionately about your projects. It's not e-begging, it's a way to get a physical thing out there so that when they create content, when they're taking pictures, when they're making blog posts or videos, they've got something that is a tie to your project, to your channels, to what you both feel passionate about. And Instagram will take that tool away often. So if you're planning on using it, go use it. And if you see other people who are valid, support them. Especially nowadays when it kills us to even go to the store to pay too much to buy food, right? Dragon Man is the most awesome dude out there. His daughter is freaking awesome. The daughter that hangs out with him and runs the shop is Melissa. And she's been featured in whatever the stupid magazine is. Some magazine, Recoil magazine. So they didn't make her wear a bullshit American flag shirt and put her on the cover doing something goofy, but whatever. She's good. The magazine exists. Complete Combatant. If you're not paying attention to what's going on, then you don't even know what the Complete Combatant is. But the Complete Combatant has been doing the kind of foundational work that allows us to be threatened with paper mache and balsa wood. The 2022 Mingle is sold out. How cool is that? If you don't know what that is, go figure it out. It's worth your time. Next up is this, which, hold on. We don't all last forever. We're not all going to be here forever. So if you're watching other people do the work, what the fuck? Get up off your ass and be part of it, because other people ain't running the show. We are the show. We're losing a big chunk of the activism. Then there's this guy. If you're going to leave this guy to have it, go for it. Or you could get up off your ass and do something. Let's see. Worried about permitless carry? Criminals have enjoyed it for centuries. So most memists are worthless, but this kind of meme is effective. So if you hate Instagram because you hate 16-year-old losers, that's awesome. But 16-year-old losers aren't the only ones using Instagram. Memists who actually are worth a shit are out there making effective use of the technology of the medium, right? So
get this one around, and look who's doing it. The organization formerly known as Georgia Carry, who is now GA2A.org. And what did they just successfully do this year? Right? Gun policy, Tennessee is lowering their, I don't know why they insist on calling it permitless carry. It's a compliance. Their constitutional carry to 18 plus from 21 plus. And I guess that just passed. And if we're not going to pay attention to every win, then the people who only look at the ground and only listen to the negative and the boos are never going to realize that we're freaking winning. We are winning. The next is Green Beret Foundation. Posted this on National Tea Day. Didn't even know what it was. And I looked at these pictures and it made me want some of this weird looking hippie tea. So if you want to support the Green Beret Foundation, you can get some tea from this place. I'm assuming the Beret owns it. And then I'm assuming that can goes to, or the proceeds from that can, that brand, goes to the Green Beret Foundation. More special operators are dying than anybody else, so pick your special operator branch of choice and support them and their families. Let's see. So Get Guns is an awesome gun shop in Illinois. Listen to the Indian. And we're doing pretty good, 53 seconds. So here's what you can do if you want to support people. You go over to their channel, you click thing, you go first, thumb up, now the human being on the other side of that thing, except my one doesn't work on this keyboard, let's do that again. When the human being on the other end of that sees that, should better appreciate it at this point. Look how her show started. Just glitched like that, and that's how they start. There we go. So now the human being that reads that knows that there's another human being out there aware that they exist. The system goes, oh, somebody registered this? Maybe I'll suggest this to some other human beings. And then other human beings find it, and they start doing it. And then their show is up at the top of the live now crap. Somebody tell her to adjust her production value. All right, so I'll go quick. Get Guns is awesome. It's in Illinois. A Girl in the Gun is awesome. There was free support gear or tax-free support gear in Texas. They were helping people know about that. Sportsman's Guide helps people like me, help them. Jocko is some Navy guy, but every once in a while they're right about stuff. Pets for Vets is amazing. Check out that channel. Girl in a Gun, there's no right time. There's just the time, and you choose what to do with it. We'll end it there. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Go watch On Target Radio.
Did you know that you could help support our future projects and let everyone know you're a fan of what we do? Check out our print-on-demand store. We have a tab here on YouTube. When you click on it, you can choose from a bunch of different items. We have shirts and posters and coffee mugs. Click on the one you like. When you find the design you want to put on it, choose a color and a size if it's appropriate. And when you purchase these items, a portion goes to help fund our future projects. We really do appreciate your support. You get some cool stuff. When you get that stuff, post pictures here and on other platforms, and we'll hook you up next time you order from our Gear website store. Thank you for your support of gunwebsites.com.
Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals at gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com.